NASCAR in Austin, race week rolling along. We are getting ever so close. NASCAR invading the capital city of Austin, Texas for the second time, back for the Echo Park Grand Prix weekend. But not only that, you've got trucks, you've got Xfinity, you've got so much that's going to be happening throughout the weekend. Great information. NASCAR at COTA.com is the place to go get all of that. Going to the Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina hotline. Rodney Rodriguez with you. And I've been showcasing, so many of our local talented racers are coming back home. And we've talked to a couple. Now we're going back to that Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina hotline. And this is another one. Extremely successful in his time here, and he's gone off and he's doing really, really good things. It is the driver of the JD Motorsports Chevrolet on the NASCAR XFinity Series, Mr. Bayley Currey. Bayley, how we doing, sir?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing well. Excited to see you guys out on the racetrack. Before we dive in and start talking about COTA and the season and everything, I think it's so cool that you've got Chasco Constructors, you've got Premier Minerals, and that paint scheme that I call so many race wins with you behind the wheel of the 05. Now the number 4. I mean, talk about that. Getting to run that old paint scheme back at home.
No, it's awesome. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time. To be able to finally put it together is pretty special, and really excited to get it out there on track. Especially, I ran that car so many times at Central Texas Speedway, which is right down the road. So, pretty neat. I really wish we could go take some pictures of that thing out there.
Oh man, well I tell you, you'd be in a bare field right now if you did that. Unfortunately,
yeah, I know.
But so talk about that. Coming back home. Obviously, do you get a lot of folks reaching out? Folks that may have been here, whether friends from you were just younger or whatever, that are super fired up to come back out and watch you perform right here on the grandest racetrack of them all.
Yeah, for sure. I think I've got more hot passes for this weekend. I've requested more hot passes for this weekend than I ever have in my entire NASCAR career. I think we're sitting at like 27.
Wow.
So, but it's definitely cool. I love having, all my friends and family and things like that come out. Just makes it that much more special. And being at home, and especially with this car, man, it feels like we're just out there racing on a Saturday night.
Man, I think so. It really does kind of have that feel to it, just a little further south, I guess it would be. So let's talk about the season so far. There with Johnny Davis Racing, some solid top 20s for you guys. This Xfinity Series, this is a gauntlet right here. It's as competitive as the Cup Series. Talk about your season so far and your thoughts up to this race here in Austin.
I've been very pleased with our performance for sure. We had a little hiccup in California that hurt us, and then, like I said, we have had a lot of top 20s there at Phoenix, Vegas, Daytona even. We're going to have probably a top 10 there at Atlanta, but we had some kind of fuel pump issue with 2 to go, which really stunk. But that's part of it, I guess. We get it fixed and get rolling and go here to COTA. But I've been very happy. I think we're only getting better as the season goes on, too. So I think we're going to continue to build on what we have. And like I said, the series is so competitive right now. It's pretty crazy. Definitely some of the most competitive Xfinity racing I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. So let's talk about a lot of folks. I've had to explain to a lot of folks with the car, because everybody's saying all these new cars and the trucks somewhat as well have some changes there. But talk about the Xfinity car for our race fans. Kind of just a little 101 of what an Xfinity NASCAR XFinity race car is.
Yeah. So pretty much, we didn't have very many changes from last year. We had, I think we increased the size of our aero pan, or the splitter pan, underneath the car, very, very little. But really, it's about the same horsepower as a Cup car. We're about 670 to 700. For some of the bigger guys are pushing about that much. But it's pretty much just like the Cup car was last year. The 670 to 700 horsepower with a composite body on it, very similar to the truck. Just pretty much that same old school truck arm suspension, stuff like that. It's my favorite car to drive, without a doubt. I haven't driven the new Cup car yet, but as far as racing goes, the Xfinity car has always been my favorite. I feel like the aero package and the horsepower that we have just puts on good racing. Having the small spoiler, small splitter makes aerodynamics a little bit less less important. It's still huge, obviously, when you're going to a mile and a half or somewhere where you're going that fast. Aero is always going to be a huge factor when you're going 180 miles an hour. But I love these cars, man. They're so much fun to drive. They got the composite body, so you don't have to be afraid. I mean, if you
lean on
touch
somebody.
doors with somebody, you don't have to be worried about, cutting a tire down within the next lap or anything like that. So
yeah,
definitely a lot of fun to drive. My favorite car for sure, and really excited to go drive one out there at COTA this year.
Yeah, I think it's going to be cool. For all of our folks with hornfm.com and cokefm.com, this is all about COTA, but I do have to ask you, since I have a little bit of time with you, Atlanta. Did that look as fun as it did from the TV screen, man? What a drastic change. You go from that old beat-up weathered racetrack, and now you've got a 1.5 mile super speedway, man. That's a radical change.
Yeah, definitely. To be honest with you, after practice, I wasn't too enthusiastic about it, but after the race, it was pretty fun. It was actually a lot of fun out there. It's definitely super speedway racing, but a lot more on edge. To me, it kind of reminds me of maybe a early 2000s plate racing where, handling's still very big, and having a good driving race car, you're still kind of chasing the thing around a little bit because you got to keep it so free to keep it unbound up. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty fun. Don't get me wrong, I love the old Atlanta. There's nowhere else you can go where you're coming off the corner at 160 miles an hour and you are pedaling that thing like you're at Martinsville and you're sideways.
Yeah.
But I understood that, there needed to be a change. The track even started coming up the last race I ran there. So needed to be a change, and I think if we would have just repaved it and not changed anything about it, it might have not put on. It definitely would not have put on anything as exciting as what happened last weekend.
Yeah.
But definitely a lot of fun. I kind of wish we'd go there unrestricted, to be honest with you. I'd love to go in the corner at 215 miles an hour, whatever it would be. I think that'd be a whole lot of fun, but I understand if NASCAR isn't really too keen on that. But yeah, definitely fun and exceeded my expectations for sure.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Yeah, unrestricted, that would be great. And yes, I agree. I mean, you repave it, and you've got some of these other 1.5 miles where it's just not what folks want to see. So talk about so for you guys, we hear on the Cup side a lot, and of course you guys are in the like you said, not a lot of changes with the XFinity car, more natured car. Inspection process. I mean, it's not a thing where you just show up at the racetrack on, I guess it would be today, Thursday, and you roll this thing out on Friday and they give a bird's eye view and say, yeah, okay. It's a very detailed analysis into this race car.
Oh, definitely. We have, 4 stations you got to go through. You got to go through the engine inspection first, get your spacer plate and everything. Then you go to the chassis platform. You roll the car up on a platform. They roll underneath it on a creeper. Make sure everything's how they want it. Make sure things are sealed up, siliconed up. Make sure things are steel where they're supposed to be. They check your splitter, check your aero pan. Then they'll get underneath the hood, check out things there. Make sure you're not doing anything funky.
Oops.
Check out the whole fuel cell area. And then you roll to the height stick where they check some small body stuff over there, like spoiler angle, and things like that. Obviously set heights, figure out your weight, make sure you weigh enough. Then you go to the OSS, the optical scanning station, or the Hawkeye, some people call it.
Yep.
And that thing you have to put plates on your wheels, so it checks all your cambers and your toe and the rear end and things like that, and your location of the rear end housing, and then also it scans the entire body. It's a full 3D scan, and you have about a 250,000 tolerance, that you have to fit in, where your whole body has to fit in and to pass. So quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah, and I love how you explain that, because one of the things I've always admired about you and still do is that you work on these things, and the way that you explain that is a very detailed explanation. Very well done. So here we are, COTA. Everybody says the F1 track is what we always called it around here, but not anymore. Your thoughts on this one? You've got some time on it. It's a very technical little joint. Well, not little, but lots of elevation changes, tight corners, S's, all this good stuff. How racy is this place?
It's definitely a lot of fun. A lot of passing zones with the harder braking areas, like turn 11, 12, 1. Then you have, 13 through 16.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of it's right, left. And there's definitely some opportunity to be had there. You got the long carousel, or it's multiple corners, but it feels like one big one. But yeah, definitely racy. I raced on it in the rain last year, which was a blast.
Yeah.
I never got to race in the rain before, and doing that was pretty fun. It was raining so hard in the truck qualifying that the right side was filling up with water, and whenever I'd go to hit the brakes, it would all splash forward and go up, hit the dash and the windshield and everything. So it was definitely different, but it was a lot of fun. So I'm excited. The weather looks pretty good. Right now it is Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I'm excited to run on it and dry and see what that's all about. But definitely a fun racetrack. Keeps you on your toes. And should be a great race.
Yeah, I think it will. So lastly, I mean, you talk about all the hot passes and everybody. If folks want to see you guys, they want to see you. They want to see Logan and Austin, and I mean all these guys. Any opportunities for folks? Are you going to be out and about? I mean, I know that there's Grand Plazas and all this. Are you gonna go see all your old Texas friends if given the chance?
Yeah, I should be around. I think I have some kind of appearance one of those days, Friday or Saturday. I'm not sure. I'd have to ask them. I should probably know that stuff further in advance, but I kind of just go, and then whenever someone tells me I got to go somewhere in 30 minutes, I just make it happen then. But I got something out there. Maybe it's at one of the stages, but I know I've been really trying to get more of those. I'm just trying to put myself out there a little bit more and participate in that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
It's definitely good to do. You might catch me at the go-kart track out there on the front straightaway at some point in the weekend.
Nice.
Got to. So all my buddies from back home, go to the go-kart track. I'll wax you, and then and then what happens after that. But
that's right.
They're always up to the challenge, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. Good stuff, man. Looking forward to it. I cannot wait to see that paint scheme, dude. I want to see it in person. I mean, it's just going to be a little more special to see it with Chasco Constructors and Premier Minerals and all that. That JD Motorsports Chevrolet is going to look pretty fly, man. Good luck, and let's go do this, man. Represent as you always do.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. There he is. That is Bayley Currey. We'll have more coverage. It is COTAFM.com and HornFM.com. NASCAR